Hello and welcome to the second official video. You may have noticed by now that the art style I'm using for these is slightly different from the one I use for most of my current Ruby art. The girls have things like actual feet and skin tones now. I just wanted something a little less stylized so that it'd translate better to the models of the show. It's easier for me to evaluate the quality of a redesign when I can imagine in a canon context. Anyway, today we are coloring Yang Xiaolong, or perhaps Yang Branwen. I wonder if Yang was raised by her birth mother, whether she might choose to take her last name. I guess in the context of my narrative she probably would, although Yang Xiaolong is obviously the better sounding name. But before we get into that, let's go over the design itself. Obviously, it is based on Raven Branwen's design, with the assumption that her clothes actually reflect the style of her entire tribe, and thus a style that Yang would have to try to fit into if she grew up there. This was quite a challenge, seeing as Raven is almost monochromatic, and Yang has all these bright yellows and oranges to contend with. In the end, I decided on a sort of burning ember coloration, using gradients to turn the deep reds into those bright colors. You're going to see it coming together. I think it worked out pretty good. And now, it's story time. As promised in Ruby's video, here is Yang's part of the story between the two sisters. So Raven takes Yang back home after she's born and raises her as a bandit, teaching her how to beat people up and steal their stuff and all that. And Yang is great at this, especially considering her semblance. I think she would grow up really popular and well-liked in the tribe. However, at heart, our Sunny Dragon is just not the kind of person who wants to spend her life hurting people for her own gain. And I think being a rebel who breaks the mold is a big part of Yang's character concept, so it wouldn't be unexpected for her to be secretly trying to go against her mother's influence. Like maybe, after the tribe attacks a village and the Grimm follow because of the negative emotions, Yang might sneak back there and try to fight them all off single-handedly to save as many of their prior victims as she can, and sort of make up for what her family and friends do. I think that would be a good narrative illustration of who she is, and it would probably make for a really cool scene in a show or a comic. But I also think it wouldn't be enough for her. At some point, Yang would decide to make the leap to a whole new way of life, by asking her mom to send her to a huntsman academy. She'd probably say something like, "Oh, I just want to learn how to kill huntsmen the way you did." But in reality, she'd be hoping to become one herself and see what it's like to live as a hero. So that's how she gets to Beacon and meets Ruby Rose, who probably ends up being the one to figure out that they're half-sisters, because it would be so like Raven to not even mention Taiyang's existence to his own daughter. And Ruby would probably help connect Yang with their Uncle Crow, who could tell her more about her mother's past and Stark and what being a huntress is like. And also, I think it would be fun if Yang had to shake some old habits from her upbringing in this new environment. Like, yes, this is a school for warriors, but not every interaction has to involve aggression and dominance. You can also make friends by just talking and sharing things. Maybe she might even learn a new way to use her semblance, like, up till now she's mostly been using it in a vengeful way. But now that she has close friends, she might start using it in a more protective way. And maybe she'd find out that she can control it better when she has to think about someone else's well-being. I don't know, just fun character things like that. It probably already shows that Yang is the most well-developed character in this alternate universe. I just think changing her origins like this puts limits on her in a helpful way. The freewheeling rebel is more compelling when she actually has something to rebel against. Canon Yang started out this character who kind of just does whatever she wants, whenever she wants, and although I still like her that way, it kind of means her character doesn't have that many places to go. It would explain why they didn't do much with her in the early seasons. Besides abandonment issues that she wasn't focusing on yet, she didn't really have anything going on. This Yang, however, has a lot going on right out the gate, and I think she would make a great driving force for a story arc she might share with Ruby, possibly to the point of overshadowing her, but still. It's nice to give her a positive spotlight for a change. Thank you for watching, like, subscribe, whatever, and check out my Ko-fi page gallery to see the finished pictures in these videos. Till next time.